Hello and welcome to yet another book haul. I've gone a bit, well, not crazy, but I've kind of, been investing in books recently, let's say, and I have quite a few to show you. So I'm just going to get on with the video and show you. So I don't know what happened to my voice there, I kind of lost it at the end. So, the first book I bought is actually quite an old one, but I've heard a lot of good things about the book and the author. And I'm getting more into crime and stuff. I just recently finished My Sister the Serial Killer, which I really enjoyed. And I've read Vigilance by Robert Jackson Bennett, which is kind of thrillery. And that book is The Bones of You by Debbie Howells. And it's a thriller, and it says... The quote on the back says, "I have a gardener's inherent belief in the natural order of things, soft-petalled flowers that go to seed, the resolute passage of the seasons, children who don't die before their parents." So, it's supposed to be pretty good. It's a psychological thriller about the dark side of suburban England, where finely pruned rose bushes hide what lies beneath. So I think it follows the story of somebody who finds the body of a child in the woods or something like that, and it tears the whole community apart and the family and all that stuff, but somebody knows something, and they're not, because it says Kate is a friend of the family and she's certain someone in the village knows more than they're letting on. So yeah, I just thought it sounded good, and it was if I could find it, a Richard and Judy book club pick 3 years ago, so a bit late to the party, but I thought it sounded great. Okay, the next book I have here is The Wolves of Willoughby Chase by Joan Aiken. This is the first in the Willoughby Chase series. Now I'm too young to remember when this was a children's classic, but it is, and I recently watched one of Simon from Savage Reads videos where him and his friend, it was one of the not Reading Horizons, one of the look through my bookshelf videos, and his friend picked out this and they talked about it, and to me it sounded really interesting, so I thought I'd give it a go. And it says, "Long ago, at a time in history that never happened, England was overrun with wolves, but as Bonnie and her cousin Sylvia discover, real danger often lies closer to home. Their new governess, Miss Slycarp, doesn't seem at all nice. She shuts Bonnie in a cupboard, fires the faithful servants, and sends the cousins far away from Willoughby Chase to a place they will never be found. Can Bonnie and Sylvia outwit the wicked Miss Slycarp and her network of criminals, forgers, and snitches?" So I thought it sounded pretty good. It's not very long, and the text is pretty large, and it also has these really cool illustrations throughout. Let me just find you a really nice one that I saw earlier when I was flicking through it. I can't find the particular one I was looking at earlier, but there's an example of one. So yeah, that's The Wolves of Willoughby Chase. I then picked up Your House is on Fire, Your Children All Gone by Stefan Keesby. I recently hauled another one of his books, which is a self-published title, which I could see on my bookshelf up there, but I can't actually see what it's called. But anyway, and I've heard this is pretty good, and it's Penguin saying it's like a proper horror classic. And it says, "A village on the Devil's Moor, a place untouched by time and shrouded in superstition. There is the grand manor house whose occupants despise the villagers, the small pub whose regulars talk of revenants, the old mill no one dares to mention. This is where 4 young friends come of age, in an atmosphere thick with fear and suspicion. Their innocent games soon bring them face to face with the village's darkest secrets in this eerily dispassionate, astonishingly assured novel, evocative of Stephen King's classic story Children of the Corn, and infused with the spirit of the Brothers Grimm." and it's billed on the back as Shirley Jackson meets the Twilight Zone. So I thought it sounded pretty good. And I recently saw Sue Morrow, from Sue's Book Nook, and I think she was reading this, or she was kind of like interested in reading it for some spooky horror readathon she was doing. So yeah, I thought it sounded pretty good. Now the next book I have, I don't know how to describe this. Okay, I do. Basically, I fell into the hype pond. Okay, into the hype ocean. And it is apparently a high fantasy, but I've kind of read little passages here and there. It doesn't seem that complicated to me. But it has also got extreme hype because of the size and because of just how much... I don't know what the word is, but just how complex and crazy this novel and this series is going to be. And it is the biggest book I've ever owned, at over 800 pages, so you can probably guess what it is by now. It's the Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Look at this. It's literally a doorstop, it's a murder weapon, it's a weight if you're looking to build your muscles. It's, what else is it? It's a stepping block if you're like really short. It's huge. But I've heard that it reads pretty easily and it's pretty damn engrossing. I've heard that like you start reading and by page 50 you can't stop reading, and then it's over in a few days and you haven't realised that you've read 800 pages. So to me that's all I need in a novel, to be honest, because like I said, it's huge. So I'll read you what it says on the inside. The House of Berethnet has ruled Innis for 1,000 years. Still unwed, Queen Sabran IX must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction, but assassins are creeping closer to her door. Eid Durian is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. Eid keeps a watchful eye on Sabran, secretly protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the Dark Sea, Tane has trained to be a dragon rider since she was a child, but is forced to make a choice that could see her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. So yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. So I picked it up, and you see it's so big that I managed to whack myself with it. Yeah, so that's the Priory of the Orange Tree. It was so heavy when I was putting it down, it like kind of hurt me. Okay, the next book I have is part of a series. This is the series, it's the Wayward Children series by Shauna Maguire, which is Every Heart a Doorway, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and Beneath the Sugar Sky, and now the new one, pardon me, In an Absent Dream. I haven't read any of these, but they all sound incredibly interesting, and basically they're about these kids who they like live in portal worlds, like in other worlds, or they kind of like have gone there for some reason, but for whatever reason they are then sent back to the real world, and they go to this place called Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children, where she kind of like helps them to recalibrate back to normal life, if that makes sense. So yeah, and apparently each book can be read out of order, but they are in kind of like a series, like this is a novella series. And yeah, so I'm not sure what the other three are about, but I've heard that this one is about a character who appears in the first book, and it's all about her and the Goblin Market, which is where she came from, or where she's going. So, yep. And these are some of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen on books, ever. So, yeah, they look gorgeous on the shelf as well. So yeah, that's In an Absent Dream. And they picked up another series, and this is the Amory Ames detective series. Well, I say detective. I think she's a detective. Is she a detective? I'm not sure if she is. Anyway, so I have the first four, which is Murder at the Brightwell, Death Wears a Mask, A Most Novel Revenge, and the newest one, The Essence of Malice. And these are all by Ashley Weaver. And I will read you the back of the first book, Murder at the Brightwell, and it says, glamorous Amory Ames is unhappily married to notorious playboy Milo, and willingly accepts her former fiancé Gil Trent's plea for help in preventing his sister Emmeline from meeting a similar matrimonial fate. As Amory settles into the Brightwell, the luxurious Devon seaside hotel that is playing host to Emmeline and her rakish intended Rupert, she quickly realises there is something dark and sinister beneath the glittering surface, and when, after a late-night quarrel, the hotel is one guest fewer by morning, Amory is drawn into a murder investigation. Enveloped by extravagance, scoundrels and red herrings, the line between friend and foe becomes less clear as Amory draws closer to the truth. I thought it sounded great. Like I said, getting more into like mystery and thriller and murder. So yeah, it sounded good. Okay. The next book I have is The Demon King by Cinda Williams-Chimer. This is the first in her, I think it's her second series, The Seven Realms. And it's a fantasy, and this book is, I think, 7 books long. Yeah, and I've heard Reagan from Prue's Project go on about Cinda Williams-Chimer for the longest time. She's one of her favourite fantasy authors of all time. So I thought it was about time I give her a go. And this is one of those American paperbacks, so it's really floppy. But yeah, it sounded interesting, so I thought I would pick it up. I then have This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Niekamp. And this, I have a weird fascination. Okay, it's not weird, but I have a slightly odd fascination with like school shootings. I know it sounds macabre, and a bit gothic and twisted, which it is, but yeah, I have a bit of a fascination. So I thought I'd give this a try. This is about a school shooting, and it says, 10 a.m, the principal of Opportunity High School finishes her speech, welcoming the entire student body to a new semester and encouraging them to excel and achieve. 10:02 a.m, the students get up to leave the auditorium for their next class. 10:03 a.m, the auditorium doors won't open. 10:05 a.m, someone starts shooting. Told from 4 different perspectives over the span of 54 harrowing minutes, terror reigns as one terror reigns as one student's calculated revenge turns into the ultimate game of survival. I actually did quite a bit of research on like which is the most popular kind of YA telling of a school shooting, and this came out on top. This has like a lot of really good ratings, and it's supposed to be one of the best. So yeah, I got that. It sounds fascinating. And the last book in this haul is Berserker by Emmy Laybourne. She wrote the Monument 14 trilogy, which I didn't enjoy. I read them ages ago when they first came out. There's Monument 14, Savage Drift, and another one. Sky on Fire. But I didn't enjoy them. But this, to me, sounds fascinating. And it's about... I will read you what it says. So it says, her brother Stieg swears their powers are a gift from the old gods, but Hannah Hempstead knows she is truly cursed. It's not Stieg's fault that their father is dead. Their mother has left, and their brother Nut has been accused of crime he didn't commit. No, the fault lies with Hannah and her inability to control her murderous gift. She is a berserker. When someone she loves is threatened, she flies into a killing state. The siblings must leave Norway for the American frontier or risk being brought to justice. Aided by a young cowboy who agrees to be their guide, Hannah and her siblings use their powers to survive the perilous trail, where blizzards, wild animals, and vicious bounty hunters await. Will they be able to reach their uncle, the one man Hannah believes may be able to teach her how to control her drive to kill? Sounds good. Yeah, so that's interesting that her gift, well, not a gift, but it's like to kind of like fly into a murderous rage and just kill loads of people, so I thought that sounded pretty good. And it kind of draws on, I think it's Norse mythology. Yeah, Cass Morgan on the back put, quoted, Berserker combines the magic of Norse mythology with the thrill of the American West, with staggering results. Startlingly original, unputdownable, and electrifying. Oh, and Danielle Page, who's written one of my favourite series of all time, Dorothy Must Die, has a quote on the back, and it says, Emmy Laybourne deftly melds Viking lore with the American West and creates something wholly new, a journey filled with heart-pounding suspense and surprising tenderness. Loved. So, it sounds pretty decent. And I know the second book, Ransacker, is out now. So yeah. Oh, and I just want to show you under the dust jacket. It's like startlingly, beautifully white. On the spine, just a bit of blood. So yeah, the design is beautiful. So that's that. So there are some more books. I am pretty sure that I'll probably be getting some more in the post pretty soon, so I think there will be some more for you to see. Oh, actually, I wanted to just mention one thing. So on Amazon, when you can go on newer news books, I went on there to look for a hardback copy of The Iron Trial by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. I found one from the Cotswold Library, and I bought it. It was only £2.76 in very good condition with free delivery. I thought that's a great price. Received it today. It is not The Iron Trial. Give me 1 minute. So this is what they sent me and said. Maelstrom by Paul Prius, which is like a classic sci-fi. But even inside, like this was inside, and there's even a label that says hardcover Magisterium The Iron Trial. Look. Oh, okay. It's not wanting to show you. Look at that. So I don't understand how they thought this. I figured maybe because it's Maelstrom and they might have got confused, Magisterium, Maelstrom. But the book doesn't say like the biggest word on the book is The Iron Trial. So that's what they would have seen first. But anyway, I contacted them through Amazon to let them know they sent me the wrong thing. So hopefully they will send me the actual right one when they get that message, because that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But yeah, anyway, that is it. I'm going on a bit now, kind of like rambling. But thank you for watching this video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, you may subscribe. You can follow me on Goodreads, just look for Lee Johnson, and you can follow my bookstagram at bookishtrances. And I will see you all again very soon. Goodbye.